Good evening and welcome to OM System YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are out there, say hello in the comments because we always like that. There's a little thank you for joining us. Pop in the comments where you are. This is going to be a really good start to our macro season. Macro season we feel starts at the beginning of September, and fungi especially. Fungi, macro, beasts, bugs, insects, a time when you can get into the forest floor, into your local parks, and you see some amazing things. There are lots of events across September in various different languages. So please make sure you head over to our events page. I mean, there are literally loads of events in there. We've all come back from our annual leave and we're all, furiously adding events. So you've got lots of stuff coming up. A couple of things from my side. Firstly, I'm going to talk about this a couple of times. We do have a cashback promotion just started. This is all to do with macro, and as we go through with our tonight's guests and looking at some images, I will pop those promotions. There's cashback on OM1s or instant save in the UK, in the US, and lots of cashback off the 60 and the 90. So we'll have a little bit of a look at that in a minute. Really interesting news about the OI Share app. If you do not have automatic downloads on your phone, we have added an incredible little update to your OI Share app, which means you can download and register up to 10 cameras at a time. Before you could only do one. And you have to deregister and then register the one you were using, which for someone like me is quite a pain. You now can register 10 cameras at one time. So take a look at that. Make sure your OI Share app is at 1.41. And that is the latest one. And I think this is really, really, really good. People have been asking for it all the time. You see it in the comments. Well, guess what? It's happened. So please make sure you take a look at that. I have added a little survey in. I've put, do you shoot OM system for macro? So please add that in. Do a little poll for me. Breathe. I'm going to have a look at the, hang on. Somebody has said the audio is not working. That's a little annoying. Can we give us a thumbs up in the comments if the audio is working? Give us a little thumb up. Come on, guys. Let me know that the audio is all working and you can hear me loud and clear. Just going to let the comments. Yes, Marlene, thank you. Okay, so basically everything I just said you completely missed. Okay, I'm going to quickly run through again. OI Share app has had an update. The update is 1.41, and the update is for the being able to register more than one camera at a time when you're doing, if you have 3 or 4 cameras. Very annoying that you can only register one and then you have to deregister. Oh, Meza Wop says it was working all the time. I don't have to repeat myself. This is going to be a good start to the day. Well, if you didn't hear it, I will go over them back at the end. Sanjay says no audio. Sanjay, we've definitely got audio, my lovely. It might be at your end. So everybody's saying it's fine. I've got lots and lots of things in there. So we'll go through some hellos. Okay, before we introduce our guest, let's have a quick look, see what you're doing in the comments. Lots of people from America and Seattle and Belgium and all over the world. Sorry I didn't see you, Carol, in Belfast. What a lovely trip. I love going out there. But everything's good. I've got lots and lots of people saying my audio is working. Happy days. Okay. Apart from that, everything's good. So apart from the polls and surveys that I want you to do, apart from going to look for the events for the September calendar, because there's lots of things in there from for fungi and for macro. I've told you about the OI Share. We'll talk a little bit more about the promotions in a minute. Let's get our guest on. The wonderful and fantastically awesome David Hamilton. Hey, David, how are you doing?
I'm not bad. Thanks for having me.
It's really nice for you to come and join us online. I'm so pleased. if you do not follow David, you really should, because his website and his Instagram is pretty awesome. I'm going to pop it up there. David's, we call him AKA Wee Man Beasties. And as you know from the wee bit, he hails from north. He hails from Scotland, beautiful part of the world. Thanks for joining us tonight, David. It's really, really exciting to have you on.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, so if there's any problems with the audio, it may just be my voice. If anyone doesn't understand me, I can speak a little slower. I do have a bit of an accent, so please put it in the comments.
Subtitles not available. So yeah, I mean, someone, Barry Penner, has put in there, does David have subtitles? Very good, very good, very good. Yeah, we've got some amazing images to show you. So David, how long have you been an OM System ambassador now?
So I think for the ambassadorship, I've been roughly about 3 years, but now just over 5 years doing macro. Started during lockdown, as quite a lot of people did. I was a landscape photographer before that, and then just discovered the world of macro when you couldn't really go out very far. So I predominantly shot in a park about 100 feet from me in the city centre for 2.5 years before venturing out to further afield.
That's nice.
Everything.
So do you, obviously your love is macro, or do you love photography generally? I mean, do you still get out and do some landscape stuff for your own pleasure, or is it in the deep detail of the macro that you love?
As soon as I found macro, that was it. I sold all my other equipment and that's all I focus on. So it's just macro that I shoot now. Just find it absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, is it, when you do lots of different genres like I've done, I'm like a 10-minute merchant. I can give you 10 minutes to talk on any genre, but do I specialize in one? That's really difficult when you sort of do the job I do. But the macro stuff, when you start looking at what our kit can achieve, is unbelievable. I mean, I remember, seeing those very, very first shots on the 60 and the 90, and then what, like the detail, and it is a whole world of just beauty, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, personally for me, I'd never looked at insects ever. And just what you could get on your doorstep just fascinated me. So I've had over 1,000 species just from a city centre park. Lots new to Scotland as well, which has been phenomenal. So yes, it's been a bit of a journey.
And the thing is, it's a never ending. When you talk about insects and the smaller things, there are tens of thousands of things to photograph, aren't there? From bugs to insects to beetles to all sorts of different things. So I'd imagine when you travel the world and then find something that isn't from sort of our countries, you're like, wow, the colours and the iridescence of things are crazy, aren't they?
Yeah, it's been a bit of an eye-opener, some of the things that you can get further afield. Some recent trips, Ecuador and Malaysia, for example, there's been some phenomenal finds that you just wouldn't even imagine things like that existed.
Yeah. And you've got a trip coming up, I believe. You're going to Colombia next May, and you've got some places, haven't you?
Yes. So this year was to Ecuador in May, which went very well. We had some OM ambassadors there and people from all over the world. The next one that I'm hosting will be in Colombia in May. And there is 2 places, I believe, left. So anyone interested, please join us.
So they should DM you through your Instagram account. That would be probably the easiest way.
Yeah, Instagram's the one I'm on most, answering questions, etc. for upcoming photographers. So I'm always on Instagram. I post daily. I know I need to get out of the habit.
Yeah, it is that algorithm, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how into it you are, you do need to post daily. It's really true. So let's have a look at an image. I will take that ticker tape off just to stop the buzzing around. I'm going to pop an image on. Hey, there we go. So I should have said spider alert. I apologize. I think I'm supposed to say spider upcoming, but obviously if you are looking at macro beasties. There are probably going to be a few spiders in. If you don't like spiders, there are a few. So be mindful of that. But I would suggest that, this could be an opportunity to breathe and live through it. So tell us about this. What's this shot on? What's your approach? Tell us all about it.
This was on the OMD EM1 Mark II with the 90mm. This is a stacked image. I cannot remember how many shots, but I think it was roughly about 22. It was one of actually the first times that I went down south. So it's a flower crab spider that we got down in Dorset, me and some other fellow photographers from the UK. Just an absolutely amazing spider to see. It's a target species for a lot of macro photographers in the UK. Not easy to find. So we did have a bit of a spider expert who's part of the macro community who helped out with that one. But yeah, it's a stacked image, as I says, 90mm. Was quite far back for this one, and there was a bit of wind as well. Not too much, but came out absolutely crisp. Bit of post-processing.
So your flash and diffuser, I'm assuming that you're using with this, obviously, like you say, in the wind, you've got that incredibly sharp shot, haven't you? So you go with the Cygnus Tech diffuser?
I do, yes, the Cygnus Tech I've been with for the last 5 odd years. Very robust unit, and can't fault it. Gives a absolutely tremendous light as well. Always use flash. I have only a confession. I've only ever shot one natural light image in macro, or one stack, sorry, in natural light. I always use flash for all my images. Insects, you can't really see the movement of them. It's very, very minimal. However, if you're using flash, it just freezes the subject, so you can get those good stacks in as well.
Do you tend to go out early morning, daytime, nighttime, or are you a bit of any time is fine?
Every time, anytime. For the first 2 years, I only went out really during the day until someone suggested going out at night, and it was a bit of a surprise that it's actually a lot easier at night. Things are sleeping, and it's actually easier to spot things because you're using a torch to find the subjects. A little bit harder to focus unless you've got a focus light. So something like the big Godox that I use has got an internal focus light that helps out. The smaller units, you have to use a torch or something else attached to a small LED, so you can actually know where you're focusing.
Brilliant. Guys, if you have any questions as we're chatting, I will keep my eyes on them. Please let us know what you want to know. Lovely to see you in tonight, Stuart. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Gyrating Sea Cow says, I miss the accent. It feels like being at home. So obviously someone living away from home, which I absolutely love. Yeah, everyone's got the audio, thankfully. So yeah, Yanis says, thank you so much. I expected the multi-camera support for years. I have 5 Olympus cameras right now. Olympus OM system, having that update on the OI share is brilliant. So let's keep going. I'm just flicking through. Keep though. People are saying lots of lockdown did wonders for exposing people to the wonderful world of macro. They surely did. Okay, let's have a look at an image. Keep your images, keep your questions coming in. Wow, what is this? This is amazing.
So this was a very fascinating giraffe weevil that we found in Kuala Lumpur. The first time that I went, it was on the bucket list of things to find.
Okay.
So I had a list of about 10 subjects I'd seen on a fellow photographer's Instagram site who lives over there. Yaya, his name is. And we managed to find every single one that I wanted to, which was unheard of. And this was one of the best subjects that I'd ever seen. So there's a lot of weevils in the UK, but absolutely nothing like this.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you sort of have to be in the community to know that there's a weevil that needs to be photographed, right? Like, when you go to Africa, you've got your top 5, you've got your giraffes, you've got your blah, blah, blahs. But when you do start specializing like this, like you say, having parts of that community and going and reaching out to people like this is the thing you need to vote. It is incredible. I love the sort of reached neck, and it doesn't sort of look like a weevil that I would think of. So yeah, it's absolutely fascinating. Really is.
And again, this was a 90mm stack. This was, if I remember correctly, about 12 shots. It wasn't that many shots. Slightly higher differential on this one because it was moving quite a bit, and obviously using Cygnus Tech and flash again.
Wonderful. Just come back from Colombia. 3 months in Colombia, Robert says. Very nice, Robert. Hope you are an OM user and hope you are tagging us in your images. I must remember to tell you, if you are from the UK or, you know, around about, or we are and have today launched or relaunched our OM System Cameras .uk Instagram page. When we became OM System, it was sort of one global page at the time, but you know, as we go on, we realized that we can't do a lot of local content. It doesn't you know, translate a lot of the time, especially when we talk about pounds versus dollars versus euros and things that are in the UK. If I say, oh, I'm going over to Chiswick Cameras, you'd be like, well, who the blooming hell are they? So we have reopened the Instagram page. If you were already following us, you will still be following us. You will now start seeing posts appear. So just remember, there will be an OM Systems account, global one, and then there's the OMSystem.uk one. So keep your eyes on that. Claire will be very happy that that is up and running, and it's going to be really exciting. We're going to do lots of different things, but it's going to be more local for that sort of content. Okay, got lots of people saying this is an incredible shot, which we love. And yeah, everyone's asking, taken with a flash. So let's talk about flash. Obviously, you can use the OM System FL700, but you use a Godox. I mean, you don't use anything too big. What sort of power are you using with the Godox?
It depends what I'm shooting. So generally for stacks, I'll go between 132 to 164, depending on the actual setting itself. For if it's the 90mm or the 60mm,
Right.
For singles between an eighth of a power to 1/16 is sort of standardized settings that I would use. But it does depend on the actual situation itself. So you need to be able to change on the fly. I use the Godox because I've been used to it since the start. I'm used to the thumb wheel. That's the only reason that I use it.
So easy to dial in and dial out the subjects. And David says, what delay? Mark Gillett says, hi, David, what delay are you setting when you use the Godox on stacked images? Do you have a delay between flashes firing?
0.1.
Perfect. There you go. I love that. 0.1. Boom. There's no mucking around. I love that.
And always use the lithium version. I have encountered a lot of people buying the smaller Godox flash, but they'll buy it with the double A's, I think it uses, instead of the lithium version. And you cannot stack without the lithium version.
The lithium pack. Okay, that's really good to know, because when you're a broad power, is like this, you know, it's like going out without an SD card. If you don't have the power, you can't take any shot. So for sure, it is quite important. Neil says, nice one, bugs and stuff here. OM is the best in my opinion, with a little I love that. Well done. Okay, let's jump on to the next image. Wow, look into my eyes. I mean, how far are you away from your subject when you're looking at something like this?
This one I probably was about 8 inches roughly away. This is probably my most detailed shot. It won't obviously show it there on this sort of screen. You're welcome to go onto my Instagram and check it out and have a zoom in. But this was a really, really high image stack. It was something ridiculous that I actually done for this one in the middle of the night. Which it was fairly large in terms of the actual subject itself, but you can see on the left eye there's a scar right across, and so it's obviously, and it's damaged some of the lenses. It's damaged some.
Let me just put us back again. Hang on a minute, I messed up there. Sorry, guys. Yes.
So yeah, you can actually see the scar on the left-hand side, on the eye itself. So if you go on to Instagram, you'll be able to zoom right into that and see the damage on the lenses itself.
Wow.
But that's probably one of my clearest stacks I've ever done.
I mean, it is incredible, isn't it? Like, the actual detail is just phenomenal.
That was a diff 1 stack as well at f9. I think that was.
Okay. So do you, and this is all with the 90, obviously, did you use the 60 before you fell in love with the 90? How did your sort of transition go?
Yeah, I mean, I still use the 60. Personally, I absolutely love single shots. But most people want to see the sort of stacked images and be able to zoom in. I love shooting single shots. I still do it on the 90, but for singles, I have always found the 60 a better lens for that. That's
Nice,
just
nice.
my own personal preference. They get more depth of field on a single, as opposed to the 90mm.
And do you, I mean, are you the, do you stack your images externally in like a Zarine Stacker or Heliocon, or do you use the internal stack?
No, so I only use external. I've tried the internal a couple of times, but I need more frames generally. So I was stacking in Helicon. I should get a bit better actually using the software because I'm not particularly great on it. I just use the sort of standardized settings within Helicon itself. But you can get slightly better in terms of like the post processing if you stick at it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Stuart says, I put the number of shots in the file name so I can remember. Always
that's too organized for me.
And we've just answered this one. What program are you using to stack? Which we have just answered. And Carol Archdale's going to birding in Colombia in January. How very nice. There you go, Carol. Make sure you try and take some insects while you're out there. So that will be really interesting. So we can carry on. Let's have a look at this little question. Then we'll have a look at another image. Do old Olympus 600R will work with focus stacking and bracketing? The 600R flash gun. That is a very good question. Well, I don't think it does high speed. I'd need to look that up. I'll come back and answer that question at some point. I will try and do what I can. So this is interesting. Barry says, make sure you tell OMSPort that the flash does not work on electronic shutter. It does actually, my lovely. You need to go in, if you're on an EM series camera, you need to go into settings and allow where the electronic flash, it will say allow electronic flash, and then you can use it. Barry, let's know what camera it is, and I can tell you where that is in the menu. But you definitely can. That's how focus stacking works. Focus stacking works without the shutter opening and shutting. So definitely, it would be a bit silly without. What aperture do you use for stacks?
So 5.6 for the 60mm is standard. F9 for the 90mm as a rough guide.
As a rough guide, and like you say, you can sort of start there and go one or up or down.
A good start. Yeah, I mean, a good start point for 90mm is 5.6, and if it is a 60mm that they have who asked the question, that's what I would do.
Yeah. Okay. Andrew is asking which lens. So it's either going to be the 60 or the 90, possibly in this set of images. Which are both on promotion at the moment, guys. I'm just going to quickly. No, I'm not. I'm going to remove that. I'm not going to do that. Not allowing me to do that. Let's look at this. Now, when I rack these images up, I know this is very simplistic, but I love this image. I love the color and the detail. I know we always go for the eyes because there's so many little components to the eyes, but sometimes the simplicity just absolutely shines out. Tell me where you shot this and what is it? So
this was a hopper. I'd actually seen someone enter this particular species in Close-Up Photography the year before that I found this one, and just had to find it. So I ended up finding it in a car park in Malaysia, on a tree. But you cannot see the detail here, but this one is it's a stack as well, and you can actually see under the body because it's translucent, and you can see all the wee internal parts of this particular insect. A fascinating find. It was a very, 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 very hard insect to shoot as well because it did not stop moving.
Oh, so this is literally you running around sort of like this with it?
No. So I had it on a leaf, but it's kept on moving. So in the blistering sun, it took me think I was at this for about 45 minutes, just for the perfect moment when it sat still and managed to get stuck.
And the thing is, those 45 minutes, I know they probably went by in a flash, and the afterwards you think, bloom, how long? But they are so worth it, aren't they? They are so worth persevering and sticking with it, right?
Absolutely. I mean, if you're wanting to get shots like this, you do unfortunately have to wait till they comply sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Let's have a look at the next thing. Oh, spider alert. Sorry, guys. I can't see the rack while they're loading into our software. I love this. I mean, it almost doesn't look real. It looks like something made for film. Like it looks like something that you're going to find on the set of Lord of the Rings. I mean, it really doesn't look real. And I would freak out. I don't know how big it is in real life, how small it is. Run me through it. How did you find this little chap?
Yeah, it was actually one of my friends who was on the Malaysia trip who found this, and it was massive.
Oh, what? How massive is massive?
Like about your hand size. Yeah, it was actually very big, or maybe in my mind it seems bigger now. But yeah, that's
from Australia again. That's not a spider. This is a spider.
Huntsman spider with eggs. It was pretty compliant actually, and didn't move a lot because it was protecting its eggs. So that was a fairly easy stack, which you don't generally get with a nice big subject like that. And there's usually some sort of move. But yeah, it was perfectly still. And this is a fairly large stack, 90mm again, and using the same flash settings.
Wow, I mean, it is. Yeah, I mean, I'm not frightened of such spiders per se. I'm frightened of when you're not expecting and then one like shoots out behind you. That's the bit that freaks me out. Once I've seen it, then I'm all right to pick it up and sort of put it out. But it's the sorry for anyone watching who doesn't like spiders. I did say at the beginning, this is going to be spider heavy or insect heavy, so you got to have a bit of a mind for it. This is an interesting question. Mogan says, what do you photograph during winter when there are only a few insects?
Well, that's a surprising one because Scotland doesn't actually have that many insects. It's quite hard to find anything here. But for the first few years, I actually did photograph through the winter. I would overturn logs. Logs are pretty good actually. There's still lots of insects actually out in the winter. Springtails. Yeah. There's springtails, slaters as well. So there's lots of things like that. However, the last 2 winters I've really not done that as much, but you can still find mackerel.
Yeah, and I suppose under logs that's where the warm bits are, isn't it? You just gotta, like you say, pick up a few leaves, go onto the forest floor, sort of pick up a little bit and sort of disrupt the floor a tiny bit to see what's under there. You can always find something. There's always, I mean, even the common fly becomes quite interesting when it's sort of this time of year because they've still got incredible things to do. Okay, let's have another look at the net. I love this image. This is so cool. Is this a stack or a single image?
No, that's a stack, but it's a very, very small stack actually. It's only about 8 images
right
of one of common damselflies, but it's just got such character. There's something that is probably one of our most photographed insect in the UK. It's one of the things that we get in the UK. Yes. It's actually pretty cool looking. Obviously lots of varieties of colours, etc. Most common around my area is the blue.
Okay.
But this one came out really, really well. I let the actual drop off just behind the eyes, so you get that nice fall off for the wings in the background, but not too much in focus. Sometimes you have to gauge if you're doing a stack how many shots you actually want, what you want to be in focus. It's very easy to do 100 shot stack, get everything in, and it just looks artificial. It looks like a cartoon. So you need.
Yeah, it is. You're absolutely right about reading that because this has a lot of art added to that technical image. There's like a fine line of conflict between art and technical. You can sort of smash the two together and something like this is incredible. You get that beautiful image, but you have to be quite mindful, don't you, that like you say, overstacking can make it look a little bit unrealistic. But these are so cute. I mean, they've got such a great face. I go out early in the morning and photograph them when they're a little bit more covered in dew and things like that, and you can get some incredible reflections and things off them. And we're coming into that sort of weather now, where although it's getting colder, in the morning you're still getting those lovely insects covered in the dew, and they don't do much until the dew is dried and lifted. So it's a good time to get out, guys, before it gets sort of too dark. It's a really good time of year to get out and practice those skills. So I love that. Okay, what is this now? When I rolled them out, I couldn't work out where the head was.
Yeah, it's quite hard to figure out. If you are able to zoom in on the left hand side, you can see just a couple of the eyes. So this is a type of bark spider from Malaysia. I've taken this in various different poses. Personally, I like this one actually the best because looking at it, you really don't know what it is. It just looks like a bit of bark covered in moss, but that's actually a spider. One of my best
and
finds.
Again, the size what's the sort of size there? Is it like this or is it like
this?
This
is a fairly small subject actually, probably about the size of your thumb.
Okay,
so
we're going to go into a really good question from Chris. What is the live status of the stacked insects? I'm assuming all of your insects are live.
Every single one. Very unethical to shoot dead insects. Just do not do it.
I love that, because why do you need to, right? You know, the practice of the awful practice of freezing them and doing all sorts of things. We don't do that. Me for sure, David for sure, and we hope none of you do. There's enough out there to photograph without you having to freeze them, so or do anything to them. So Chris, we hope that eases you, because we definitely don't like that idea at all. Oh, Selena saying the 60mm is out of stock on the website. Oh, I don't know, Selena. I will get an answer for you at some point. Okay, just flicking through the comments. Right. Keith says, would you kindly put up flash and diffuser details? We'll do that afterwards. You know, we do the FL700 as well, which is super fast. Okay, this is a good question. Gyrating Seacow says, what are the 2 to 3 ways you would suggest getting your photos in front of the right people? I mean, it's a difficult one, that one, isn't it? Because you've got a big, heavy following on Instagram, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, but it took a long time. What I would say is everyone in the macro community is super supportive. So if you start posting, start talking to people in the community, very soon your website will grow, and very soon your socials will grow as well. That's exactly how I did it, to get my name out there. My name probably helped. Everyone seemed to like the We Mad Beasties.
We Mad Beasties.
So get yourself a good name.
Yeah. And I think it's that thing, isn't it? Like you say, we were talking earlier with Instagram now, you know, I'm old, so my Instagram account gets updated as and when. But if you want to create, you need to post every day. And I mean, once a day, every day, at different times of the day, because it is all about that constant algorithm that needs feeding. You've got to think of it as a hungry child or a hungry dog. You need to feed it every day, because that's the only way it survives. If you do a post like once in a blue moon, like I do, you know, you notice those numbers slowing down, and that's fine for someone like me, too busy. But if you are trying to do that, it's really important to just post regularly. Okay, so let me just have a look. Just going through some questions. Barry says, how do you even find bugs? What's your process?
Yeah, this is going to sound really odd, but I've actually got very bad eyesight. So generally I find them, you see them moving. I've just trained myself over the last 5 years to be able to spot differences in texture as well. But generally if something moves, even if it's a little bit, I'll spot it right away. This particular spider that you're seeing on the screen, it wasn't myself that found this. This was a guy who was with us from Australia, who is used to finding very similar spiders. So he spotted that one. I can't take credit for spotting that particular one. So he knew exactly what to look for. However, I think I would have walked past this. But there's a variety in colours as well. A lot of the shots that I took initially were on very urban environment backdrops that people wouldn't usually shoot. So I shot a lot in like metal fences, wires, etc. Unusual places to find insects is how I started out, and they were very obvious against that sort of backdrop. But against leaves, trees, etc., you begin to actually see
You
things.
get your eye in, don't you?
I mean, because normally when you're looking around, you're not focused on anything close at all. So you do.
I agree. I mean, when I started to photograph slime mold, slime mold is so small that use a little jeweler's loop to look at them. And I remember, like, walking around a forest with Andy Sands photography and Barry Webb, and they were like, "Oh, there'll be some here," and I was like, "It's a tree." And then literally, once you get your eye in, it is about slowing down. I think the other thing about photographers is we sort of march into the woods or, whatever it is we're going to do, but it is about slowing down, dropping down on, sometimes just sitting on the floor and just looking around. I mean, that's also how you find the smaller coral fungi and that sit under the leaves, be much more gentle, much more sort of thoughtful and slow when you're sort of finding the smaller fungi and the smaller insects, for sure. So that would be my advice. Let's have a next image. Beetles. This is a stag beetle.
No, it's a devil's coach horseman.
Oh, and where's that from?
It's from just the park just across the road from me. This is the one that arches its bag up. It's like the largest rove beetle that we get in the UK.
Okay.
Quite an aggressive beetle, actually, and generally never stops. So I was shooting this from above, chasing it around for I don't even know how long I was chasing this around, till I managed to actually shoot off about 10 images where it's just stayed still just long enough for this stack. A very, very, very hard subject, this particular one. I've been trying to shoot them for a long time. A lot of failed shots, but this one managed to work out pretty well. I actually really like this, like the angle.
I love it. I love the color, the detail. I love the black. I know it's fairly, lots of insects are color, aren't they? But this is just, it's so well hidden, so well hidden. So a question from Mezawop. Are you only shooting handhelds when stacking or sometimes with a tripod?
Always handheld, never with a tripod. Tripods gets in the way of the small insects, and you need to be really, really quick as well. So with a lot of practice, I've learned to shoot handheld. I would say that there's various positions that are really, really handy for macro. That's quite hard to explain unless you're out in the field with someone. That allows you to stabilize for these types of shoots, which you wouldn't for normally anything else, because you're shooting something so small. So I would say if you know anyone in that macro community that's close by that can show you, then you should reach out to them for that.
Yeah, for sure. It's always better to get someone, like you say, to sort of, if they can, to help out. I don't want to jump in on the tariff row, but there are other diffusers. You've got the Cygnus Tech, which comes in from Australia. You've also got the AK diffuser, which comes in, again, I think from Europe. We have those on our website. Just check out. There are other options. Obviously, I know coming into the US is a little bit tricky at the moment, cost-wise. But the AK diffuser, I think, is European. As I said, I know for sure, my dog's there, know for sure that we have them on our website. So they are one of the same. So just to keep that out there. All right. So Chris asks, are the stack pictures taken in the field, or do you sort of pick them up and bring them away? What's your I mean, I've done that where I've seen something, moved it to a leaf and then moved it back. I think that's quite okay. Not moved it with my hand, but if it's on a leaf and you want to put it into the light, I don't think that's a problem, as long as you're not touching it and as long as you're not moving it away from its home. What do you think, David?
I always try and shoot in situ if possible.
Yeah.
If it's not, there has been occasion where I've had to move something, but always put it straight away. and try not to disturb it too much. That's if possible. I know some people use clamps, etc. I do try and steer away from that where possible. I have used them on occasion, but I do try not to. I'd rather my images looked as they were in the field.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, let's grab onto another image. Great, look at that. The details, unbelievable. And what is this? Is this a bee or a wasp?
It's a drone fly, if I remember.
Okay.
Which is very, very similar to like bees and wasps, but it's like a sort of big hoverfly. That one there was very early morning. And I was surprised that there wasn't actually any dew on that particular subject, because there were other ones that I shot that morning. But yeah, that's a very, very large stack as well. And it was sleeping, which massively helps, especially with stacking. Because if it's sleeping, it's not moving, you can go to a lower differential, so that obviously the distance it moves isn't as much, and you can take more shots as well, which will compile no problem within like Helicon or Zarine. So yeah, that's it's one of my faves, that particular shot, because of the detail in the eye, and that does have hairy eyes, that one, which you can see on the high resolution on my Instagram.
Brilliant. They're just telling me AK is in Florida as well, so you do have one that you can get without the tariffs. Lots of the people doing the diffusers right now. Okay, now when I saw this again, this reminded me of Monsters Inc. This reminded me of a comedy at like insects, because although it's quite gruesome to look at, it's also incredibly beautiful. It has that, I don't know, what do you think about this, or am I being romantically crazy? Is this the most poisonous thing in the world?
No, it's not harmful to humans, but it does look like it's sitting there thinking about something. This was actually spotted by Cygnus Tech himself when I was away in Malaysia. It was one of his
By Brendan.
One of his must-find spiders. And he was skipping around the forest in the middle of the night when he found this one. So obviously let him shoot this particular one for some time, and then I thought, do you know what, I'll give it a try with a bit of a stack, and it turned out absolutely phenomenal in my opinion.
I loved it.
Yeah, you couldn't appreciate it until you actually said it looked like a bit of a blob to me.
I mean, so this was shot in Australia?
No, this one was shot in Malaysia. This was outside Kuala
in Malaysia, right? Okay, so I love that. Looks like something out of Jim Henson's Creature Shop at the Muppets. Victor says, wow, this shot, it's a front cover for any nature magazine. It is. I just love it. It's like pondering life, you know, that whole, absolutely gorgeous. It's such a cracker, and it's sort of almost, as I said, sort of, you know, sort of softens that insect blow when people don't like, a lot of people don't like the close-ups of the insects and spiders, but this one I just think looks really cute and completely just wouldn't harm you. And yeah, it looks really amazing. I absolutely love it. So again, Malaysia, what country would you say is the best country you've been to for doing photography on insects? But if you could go back, or you go to somewhere new, what would be the one place?
Yeah, I mean, I personally loved Malaysia. I've been there a couple of times now, and it just seems to be, no matter where you go, me and another boy from the UK stepped off a plane, and literally the first bush we came to was just covered in insects. It was, coming from the UK, that kind of thing is just surprising. There's obviously macro photographers who have that in their backyard, and it's not a big surprise to them. So from anyone from the UK, where we go out and hunt constantly for hours and sometimes don't find anything, it's a bit of an eye-opener, let's just say. But the South American countries, there's a few that I want to visit. French Guiana, I want to go to Madagascar as well. It's given some very, very unique subjects in Madagascar.
Yeah, and like you say, it really does depend on where you go in the world. We live in the northern hemisphere, which means it is a colder climate, so we don't have such sort of tropical beasties, although we do get some incredible ones. I saw some iridescent ones the other day in the garden thinking, what the blooming hell are they? But I absolutely would, like you say, the warmer climates do tend to bring the insects up because there's more flies, there's more food, lots more stuff going on. But yeah, this is, I think, probably one of my favorite shots. I'm not sure how many images we've got left, but let's take a look at this one.
So this is a one just down the road as well. So I've got a local nature reserve, which used to be a bit of an industrial estate, and it's been rewilded. This is a common darter, top down. A pretty unusual way to shoot this. So I was quite happy with how this came out. I've seen all the muscles in the back, how the wings connect, and then the back of the eyes as well. Another stack shot with dew. Some of the dew didn't stack as well as I would hoped, but I think the whole overall image works pretty well.
Oh no, I absolutely agree. I think it's nice, and I love that going in on the detail. You know, it doesn't always have to be the whole animal. I love the fact that you've picked out this incredible detail. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I love the colors, like you say, it's nice and bright, and yeah, pretty awesome. Now, this we used as the cover photo for the YouTube page, and I thought it was quite dramatic. Another animal eating another animal, but hey, that's the circle of life. We all eat, right? So I thought this was going to be, I also love the color. I love the white on the log with the pink background and that little bit of yellow sort of lichen stroke fungus on the bark. I just thought from a color perspective, it really makes the insect pop, and it really shows off that extra detail.
Yeah, I mean, this one, some people use color backgrounds sort of to bring that through, but this was a lot of flowers, a little big red bush of flowers in Urena Lodge in Ecuador. It was actually found by someone that's in the chat, so I shot it after them, Glenn. And this is a stacked image of robber fly with one of the wee, what's it called again? Flesh bee, I think it's called. Which are pretty tiny, but this just worked absolutely fantastic. It was one of probably my favourite shot from the Ecuador trip.
Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? As I said, it's got context, which obviously what you're going to look at is the big thing eating the smaller thing. But as a photographer point of view, it's a really beautifully set shot. As I said, you've got a little tiny pop of yellow. You know, if you hadn't had that yellow there, if you in your mind's eye take that yellow away and you've got that on, as I said, it just adds, there's that little tiny bit of beauty, the pink behind, everything just settles really, really well on that image, which I absolutely love. Good, lovely family in the OM system chat. Brian says, intel in chat from everyone is very helpful. Thank you. I love that, Brian. I think we're a lovely family. The macro family are awesome as well. You know, everybody wants to get those shots. And as I said, join the communities. I think they're amazing. And thanks everyone in the chat. It's really nice that you really help out. I absolutely love it. You are all gorgeous. So yes, everyone's saying stunning shot. We've got lovely, they're talking about lots of stuff in the chat, so you can carry on with that. We're going to have another look at some images. I think we've got about 4 more to go. What is this?
So this is a horned spider, again from Malaysia. This was from my first trip along with the giraffe revo. This was one of the ones that I just had to find. So managed to find this at, like, it was about 4 in the morning on basically the side of a mountain in the dark. Just an absolutely phenomenal looking spider. I do have, by accident, one on my Instagram of the male underneath, which I didn't know I had until I checked my images when I got home. The male is tiny, and it's just underneath this is a female.
Wow, I mean, that is amazing. Isn't that fantastic? You get back and then you see another shot in your images. That's amazing. So the male's a lot smaller.
Oh yes, like a lot of spiders, the male's a lot smaller.
Yes, definitely the females, sorry, not the women. The females definitely do tend to have that slightly aggressive and Dominant.
Yeah. What I will say is this is actually a single image as well. This is one of the
I
few.
love it.
So that's
Absolutely
it.
amazing image. Okay, let's move on to the next image. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. The iridescent colors. You just can't believe that these are real, you know. And I have seen a few iridescent things in my time, like, you know, especially with, I imagine how many images I've seen over the years. Absolutely beautiful. The detail is incredible. What is this?
So that's a tiger beetle. I'm sure a lot of people in the chat will know Ben Small's World. Who's
Yep.
another one from America. So I was actually over in America and went down to Washington to meet up with a few friends, and I just had to find this because I'd seen him post it. So they took me out, and luckily, in the very short space of time that I had, we managed to find it. So I was delighted because after I'd seen his image, I just thought, well, I have to have this because my logo's always been of a UK tiger beetle. So I love different tiger beetles. So this I just had to have for myself, but it was emulating another person's image.
Yeah, as I said, you talking about your sort of, sorry, that's my doorbell. I'm so sorry that my Alexa's opening the door. I'm just going to mute myself just for 1 second. You can.
Right.
Sorry about that. I'm back. I don't know. Somebody at the door this time, and that's quite an unusual thing. Yeah, I mean, as I said, it's one of those things where I think they're pretty beautiful. I mean, you know, you've got a whole world to photograph, right? So I'm sure the States is just as good for sort of photography.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this is the last image, and I again love the moodiness of this. This could be a film screenshot. Tell me about this image.
So this is actually one of the images that I'm known for, is taking this sort of in-web shot. Now, the reason for that is where I live, there's a lot of metal fences, and there's a lot of parks, and a lot of the very same spider everywhere. We've got about 3 different species that are always about. So I shoot these a lot, and I've kind of nailed down the technique of shooting the stack in web, which isn't easy because any little movement ruins the shot. This is probably one of my most liked images. I did do a big giveaway of an acrylic print of this at one point, which did very well.
Nice.
But yeah, it's a dark, moody urban shot of a walnut orb weaver. These are super common where I am, so I've got to practice how to do this a lot. It's something I've nailed down over the last 5
Shot
years.
with the 60 or the 90?
This one's on the 90.
On the 90. Beautiful. I mean, there's so many amazing images. I mean, obviously you've got Colombia next, and there's 2 spaces, so let's get that filled for you because, you know, you'd be crazy not to get on one of these trips. But what's the plan now in the next few weeks? We've got sort of coming into what we consider sort of fungi season. Are you going back out into the forest? You're going to be local? Or do you feel that you photograph most things in your area?
In my area, yes. What I do have coming up is I do have 5 talks. So teaching about macro within sort of local camera clubs, which has been good. I've took quite a lot of people out from off the back of that to teach them macro, and obviously show them the new OM equipment as well. Other than that, I'm going to do a wee bit more practice with the wide angle. So in Colombia, in Ecuador, I tried the 2 wide angle lenses a lot. So you'll see some hairpin shots, which I hadn't done previously, frogs, snakes, etc. I've got a lot of images on We Mad Beasties now of them. So I was using the 12 to 40, 12 to 45s. So I'll be out practicing with them before Colombia comes around.
Amazing,
that's the plan.
Amazing.
I will do a bit of fungi shooting as well. That's definitely on the cards.
Yeah, as I said, there's, you know, it's all out there, isn't it? You just got to be low and slow. That's what I talk about, macro and fungi. low and slow. If you are new to our YouTube channel, please like this event and please subscribe. I will I want to run through, because we are talking about macro. It is macro cashback, and the cashback is on from the 4th of September right the way through to the end of the month. It's actually only a 3-week window, but you can get up to £400 on bodies. There are lots and lots of macro. So go into, I'll pop this link into the, sorry about my dog. She's just deciding she wants to have some fun tonight, and she's barking at me. Normally she's pretty quiet and stays in the corner and has a biscuit, but today she's decided she wants to have a chat. So I put the link in there for the promotions that are going on. That is the UK one. You will have instant save in the US, but there's some OM3 savings as well, £200 sort of cash off. There's also some trading, but that is only in selected countries. And if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't get the newsletter, they're on that page. There's 4 sections, and it gives you the opportunity to sign up. All right. So if you do want to sign up, or if you're missing anything, if you sign up, you will get notifications on your phone to let you know that we're going live, especially now again in the UK, that we are doing local stuff. So keep your eyes on all the cashbacks going on. Let me go back to the right page, which is that one there. Well, that wasn't so painful after all, David, was it? It was easy, right?
Not at all.
I mean, I haven't seen you since the photography show, so it's been a couple of months. Time flies before you know it. Guys, want to say a big thank you to David. If you enjoyed his images, make sure you give him a follow. I'm sure if you don't follow David, you'll be following him soon. There will be more from us and our ambassadors going over the next few months. As I said, if you are a member of the UK Instagram, there will be a lot more local stuff. So, you know, hopefully that will be fun for you as well. And a big thank you to David. A big thank you to you for joining. I hope you've learned some things. And as I said, David does do bits and pieces. Contact him through his DMs. It's a great community part of, and don't forget the promotions. David, I will see you again very, very soon.
Thank you.
And no doubt we'll be doing some more stuff together soon.
Fantastic.
Right, guys, take care, and I'll see you all soon.
Thank you.